let me go to the phone line and talk to the lawyer of Mr. Ajenim Boateng Ejay. Augustine Obo is on the phone line. If you can hear me, Augustine, my friend here, Sami Jemfi, believes that the police ought to arrest your client. Is that a view you share?
Of course. I would have shared the same view before I met Mr. Ajenim Boateng. You know, when I also heard a publication, by Manasseh, I was in the same position. I had the same view, but after I had a conference with him, I realized that nothing has happened. It's a normal sensationalism. So for now, I will not share that view with him. There wouldn't be any basis to arrest him. Remember, we appeared before 3 policemen. We have been interrogated by 3 policemen.
Mm-hmm. How did that interrogation go? I hear you just ended a session a while ago. How did it go?
We only explained to them what has happened. We don't know anything about it. There's no contract for sale. Who has bought a contract? Let that person come out. So when we explained to the police, they were even shocked. B. Molly, we don't know anything about B. Molly. They were there. They have also been interrogated. They were there in the morning. Find out from them whether we know anything about them, whether they know my client. There's nothing. They don't even know DDL.
Mr. Obo, what explanation do you have for the chief executive who has shares in a company that appears to repeatedly get contract without going through competitive tendering?
In fact, if we are to provide you with the evidence, what we all heard and read was that 14 contracts were awarded to DDL. Now, if you look at it, they applied for contracts. They won only 5. None of them is more than, the highest amount involved is 1.9 billion Ghana. The rest, 150,000. And then the managing director is there, independent of the shareholders. So the managing director is there. The CEO, we went with him. He was interrogated. We brought out every information to them. We showed them documents. And then Mr. Ajenim Boateng was a director. He resigned when he took, because of his situation. He doesn't participate in the daily transactions of GDL. He did not even know. He also read it, and just like Manasseh brought it to him, whether he knows it. There is nothing that is wrong. In fact, I said I also heard this thing. I was very angry. I didn't know Mr. Ajenim Boateng until he engaged me as counsel. And I was very shocked after I had conference with him that there is nothing happening. Look, find out from the PPA. Mr. Ajenim, the board doesn't grant contracts. They don't do anything. TDL is among the companies that applied. They were sent there. They were sent there to be screened. Not that company alone. Many companies.
You
and
talk
where
about...
he was interested, where Mr. Ajenim Boateng was interested, he declared his interest. The record is there.
On just one occasion out of the 14 times that this company, in which he has 50% shares, according to his own word, appeared before the PPA bidding for contract or applying for contract.
Do you have evidence for the 14 contracts?
I haven't said 14 contracts.
I have evidence now, so I can speak.
No, I haven't said 14 contracts. I said they applied 14 times, but of course, less of the 14 times were awarded. And I'm saying he who admitted that he had 50% shares of this company that repeatedly appeared before the PPA, it was only on one occasion that he declared his interest in the company. Doesn't that raise fundamental questions of conflict of interest to you?
No. You see, I have prosecuted conflict of interest before. I have also defended conflict of interest before. I know the facts you need to prove conflict of interest. That is not how we say it in law. That is not what we call conflict of interest. I'll give you an example. If you have a share, if you have invested in shares of GCB, and there is a tender involving GCB, what will you expect him to do? To recuse himself?
You hold the view that this whole documentary was a fabrication.
You see, the
Why
man.
is that?
You see, if I may answer this, after I had conference with him, the next question I asked him is that, Mr. Ejenim Boate, have you helped somebody for this thing to be done to you? Is that all about your case? Because I didn't know Mr. Ejenim Boate. I am a professional lawyer until I met him in my office as a client. Then I had a conference with him. Just after the conference, I asked him, have you helped somebody? Because I could not. I hated his name and the board when I also heard it last week. I was driving on Kumasi Road when I heard the news. I couldn't believe it. I heard of 22 million Ghana. Oh, please, come and have the documents that we have. The highest contract TDL won was 1.9, and they have executed 5 contracts. None of them has been paid. So which contract is for sale? This is not a good way we should run our country.
How long did the interrogation last?
It was less than an hour. We were there in a queue. I said people would say that we were being heckled or something. It was less than an hour.
What explanation did he give to interrogators in respect of his co-shareholder giving contracts out and taking percentages back?
No, that is not it. The question that you are asked is the shareholder. He said, look at my age. Look at my age on the statement. There is this company. He has several companies that he does run, agrochemical and all that, that as he's on his way out on retirement, these are the things he's going to do. He even has a pure water company, wife and husband, that they sell sachet water. This is normal with public servants. Don't we have plenty commercial vehicles
I didn't get
to public servants?
Mr. Obu, I didn't get a clear, direct answer from you. What his response to the handing of as a campaigner for staying with the rules of procurement? What was his answer to his partner in business taking contracts and handing them out, not executing them or subcontracting part, handing the contracts out in whole and taking money and having negotiations as to how much to take?
You're asking about 8 questions in one question. Take them one by one. I can give 8 answers in one question. Take them one by one. Let me answer you one by one. Answer them one by one.
I'm saying, what did Mr. ABAJ's, what was his response to his partner taking contract and handing them over to another person who is appearing that they are a contractor without checking and taking money?
Yes, we should ask whether or not he has handed over any contract to anybody. There's no such.
But we saw his partner handing a contract to agents of Manasseh and taking money, actually negotiating.
It doesn't exist anywhere. That his partner, the CEO, handing over a contract to anybody. Where do you get that evidence from?
That is on tape.
That is Francis.
It's such a notorious fact you are disputing, Mr. Obo.
I am a lawyer. I deal with the law. And the fact, not radio station or newspaper publication. Show me where it is. That Francis had a contract for sale. And we have thrown that challenge to all Ghanaians. Come and show us if you have ever bought any contract from TDL. Produce it.
You said today he lasted not more than an hour. Is he expected back with the interrogators?
Yes, we are going there tomorrow with the gentleman who was doing quote and unquote his connection, which has brought her in the country. And there's nothing like that. We all believe wrongfully. What we heard, I said I am in agreement with you. I also got angry. But there's nothing. Somebody, the administrative manager in his office was doing what normally Ghanaians will call connection.
You say you are going with the gentleman who is doing this connection. What do you mean?
Yes. That's what I'm saying. That gentleman was doing what we Ghanaians normally call his connection. There is nothing like that.
What does that mean? In reality, what does it mean? He's doing connection. What do you mean?
Gentlemen, let me tell you something. I am a lawyer. I have a law firm. I have other lawyers. We have a clerk. We have others. You come to the office. You come and have a deal with the clerk without my reference. I haven't signed any document. He gets you our law, our letterhead. He gets you our stamp and everything. Are you sure in law you can bind me with this contract that you have with my clerk? A subordinate in the office? You must be serious here. You say you can bind me with that contract as the owner of the law firm? When I have no idea what we're doing with my clerk?
My last question to you, Mr. Obo. So for you, there's no issue that he as chief executive of the PPA was a shareholder of a company that was bidding for contracts, that he was leading the due diligence process that would determine whether or not this company gets a contract. There's no issue.
There is an executive committee at the PPA that does the due diligence part. In fact, I can tell you on authority that the chief executive will not even see, because they don't deal with company by company. It is only when they are dealing with money that they refer. That was not what happened.
Mr. Obo,
please continue to do further investigations. And we all believe it. I said I was angry. I was driving when I heard like the way I was listening.
Mr. Obo, we have to leave it here. We have to leave it here. Thank you. Thank you very much for talking to us on this matter.